Yeah, well, that question comes often, when especially it has, it was there since the French Revolution and even before French Revolution, because um, when the state sees that so much of money, is going to the churches and going to the temples, for example. So it's better that state uses this money for its own purposes, and later, after few years it became like state uses its money for purposes of welfare of the common, because the church is not anyway doing that. So let the state take care of this money, and let the state pay huge let the church pay huge taxes, and the people in general won't, they would be, their welfare would be taken into account, etc. So I mean, it's almost in usually in all religions, especially where there are temples and churches, etc., where there is kind of a bit of accumulation of wealth for a particular purpose. And especially this is in areas where the church, or let's say the the state is not having a religious function to do. Okay, so it comes because if the state is not having religious function to do, the state thinks church as separate and as a separate entity, and just like any other organization, uh, just like any other organization, the state also thinks that it should tax them, or it should take their money, etc. There are one or two reasons why there are one or two reasons why this thing should not be there. First of all, when government fails to do something, the blame should not be put on the churches, or blame should not be put on temples, or blame should not be put on the people in general, right? Government has to accept that it had enough of money and it failed to provide what was to be provided. So that's the first thing. So putting blame on others that they have the money and we don't have any money, etc. No, you had enough of money, you lost this money in corruption, and for your own good. So now don't approach churches, no, don't catch on churches. There is a second thing which is very important with regard to the thing, that is to say, when a person donates a money, donates this money to the church, uh, he not only is donating for the common welfare thing, he is also donating for the spreading of faith and evangelization. So for example, if I donate money to the church, it's not just that church runs some orphanages or some convent schools or some other stuffs. I also donate that there should be a priest for every Christian around the world, so that every Sunday he's giving sacraments to this person, and he is preaching Bible and etc. So that there is an evangelistic purpose to it. Now, uh, pretty much the evangelistic purpose overrides the social charity purpose. No religion would have doing charity as its first and foremost thing to do. It would always be acknowledging God and praising God, etc. And then it would be a work that you do with neighbor, etc. And since there are already other institutions which specifically deal with charity and so on, people are more inclined to give to churches for the sake of evangelization than for the sake of charity. That's one thing. Um, so uh, keeping that in mind, people are not giving churches, people are not giving money to the mosques and churches and temples and other places of worship because they want to do this social welfare charitable activity. They are doing this because they're doing this because they have a specific purpose in mind of evangelization. Thirdly, what differentiates this from uh, other forms of let's say companies or other things, etc., is that technically this is purely voluntary purpose. The existence of temples, churches, mosques, etc., is purely for voluntary purpose. And because it's purely voluntary purpose, you cannot uh, you cannot tell these churches and mosques, etc., to give the money to the street. Paying taxes is not voluntary. Paying taxes is compulsory. On the other hand, giving donation to the churches is voluntary. So if you want to take the wealth out of the people, you can raise taxes. You have permission to do so, right? uh, but if you, let's say, raise donations in the church, if you want to raise donations in the church, you cannot force somebody to do that. People are, at the end of the day, are giving that out of their own accord. That is the most important thing that we need to recognize. So what people gave, on their own accord for a particular purpose, is for a particular purpose. State encroaching upon that particular money is a violation, is not correct. It's incoherent. If the state wanted to have money, they could have raised taxes from the people in general. But people voluntarily chose to give this money to the churches because of the purpose of evangelization, and it's for the public in general to decide whether they want to give money to the church for evangelization, or for charity purpose, etc. If people find that the churches are not doing enough charity, they could give this money to other places, other places of that are exclusively meant for charity. So that is one more thing. Then the third thing, or the fourth thing, which is important here is this. Now let's say you come up with the argument of we allow companies to perform business, because of which they have profit and they run their livelihood. So therefore, you could tax the companies. And similarly, we allow churches to exist. And since churches exist, we they are giving this donations to the churches. And because we allow churches to exist, donations are coming to the churches. And because these donations are coming to the churches, they are living, the people of in the church is earning that much money. So because of allowing, the factor that we allow churches to exist, or temples to exist, or mosques to exist, there should be some allowance for us to do that. There should be a tax that should be levied on this, uh, which is a bit incoherent and inconsistent with the fact that every person has a right to believe what he wants to believe. That is perhaps inherent right. And this right cannot be judged as if that if you have enough money to pay to the, let's say, to the government, then only we would allow you to have that kind of a belief. So it's like this: if you have enough money to form a religious belief, you are allowed to form a religious belief. And that sounds like a pro communist government and not a purely secular government, because the secular government would always allow people to have their uh, freedom of religion. They can choose to follow whichever religion they want to follow. But if you say that okay, your state has to give tax, church has to give taxes, or church has to give money to the government, then it probably means that the only religious institutions, or like the temples for that matter, the only religious institutions which would be who would be able to give money can only exist as a religious institution. Rest, your belief doesn't matter. You don't have a right to that kind of a belief. So let's say if I form my church, and if I don't have that enough of money to give to this, to as taxes, then I don't have the right to believe what I wanted to believe in terms of supernatural things, etc., which is against the principle of secularism. Now, even if we, let's say, allow people to believe whatever they want to believe, uh, but to, let's say, not form structures of places of worship, that again is a stretch form of anti-secularism and pro-communism. Then there is an aspect of, let's say, treating some religions or established big religions, taking money out of them, while allowing the smaller religions who don't have enough money, or individual religions, let's say, people who have their individual faith. I mean, then you cannot say, because if, let's say, you're charging taxes, and then you would say, okay, we will we are taxing churches, and then we are taxing the other small denominations of different religions, who have who don't have any particular place of worship, but they just gather in their different homes, and they pray, etc. We will also tax donation from them. Then you have to also tax donation from atheists, because one is believing in a supernatural thing that exists, one doesn't believe in a supernatural thing that according to them doesn't exist. At the end of the day, both of them are beliefs. And so if you are going to believe, if you're taxing them on the basis of beliefs, then you have to also tax atheists, which means you are taxing every person for their belief. um, and this is, and of course, so what people see is that, okay, we will tax the temples. Let's say in India, we will tax the temples, but we won't tax the minority communities. That is wrong, because you are then distinguishing between the you are discriminating the majority community, which has a lot of wealth, but you are no, and the minority community, which has less wealth compared to the majority community. So this is also wrong, because then you are definitely pro minority and anti majority. So because of all these reasons, I believe we should not, uh, the argument of taxing churches for the sake of common welfare, etc., or taxing any religious institution for that matter, is wrong.